welcome to the video. It's SOFI Wednesday. Big picture if you don't want to stick around for the whole video. I'm still super bullish on this one. I think 2025 is going to be banger for it. In this video, we'll talk about the daily and weekly price action so we can get a feel for when price can move, where price can move in the short term, long term. This will help us identify where we're going to add, where we're going to trim in line with our risk tolerances, and it's going to keep us a level head whilst the market's choppy. We'll also talk about the open options interest. This will give us a feel for what the big boys are doing with the stock and the market makers. Other than that, we'll touch on some news, and finally, my eToro portfolio is going to be linked in the description down below. Chart, I mean, nothing really has changed in regards to resistance and support levels because we've just kind of chopped around for a week. So we're still we're above the golden Fibonacci, which I like, and kind of chopping around on this volume shelf. Would love to get over that and confirm it. I mean, we're going to open over that when the market opens at kind of $12. That's because of the what Trump said last night. It's going to lift the whole market up. So it's actually crazy to be up this much just in pre-market for a change. Can't hate it though. Don't know if it's going to hold. Don't know if it's going to say something else to make it drop. So don't place your bets on the recovery being done until we have absolute clarity on what's happening. So I think it's just going to be a real choppy ride back to the highs. I don't think it's going to be a super sharp recovery unless China does come to the table with a deal, but that's not looking likely over the next few days. So yeah. So I mean, price is going to hit its head on that $12 kind of area. We'll look at the options market and see how that moves. I won't have the updated options data from any price action that happens today, but we'll talk about that next week because I'm imagining the markets will shift quite a lot. We are coming into earnings for SOFI, 29th of April. I think earnings are going to be banger on this one. The new deals they've got, I've just written an article and waiting for it to be posted, and then I can share it on my website, thecraftytrader.com, and you can check it out. Also got my valuation model on there, a really simple broad stroke one, not my super detailed one, which it is a little bit more complicated to understand, but I found a way to make it a bit more simple. What else is to look at the chart? Really not a whole lot exciting. We're still in this kind of downtrending structure. Probably should have a resistance level here. Let me stick this on. Something like that. Really, we're not going to confirm a reversal till we get over that. We will open over that, so I would expect some kind of chop and back test. But really, this would set up for a really nice technical launch pad post earnings as well. We have the 3 golden bars there, which is normally super good basing pattern. So I'm pretty excited actually. This is the one I'm most excited about. Tesla was we knew it was going to be bad. It was bad, but all the growth stuff is still on track to be a good growth. But that isn't my highest conviction play for 2025. Probably SOFI. It is right up there with what I'm most excited about, as well as the crypto-related products and proxies. So crypto and SOFI, Robinhood, those are the ones I'm most interested in for the most upside this year. Tesla, that's a 3, 4, 5 year position for me. That's why it's a little bit smaller in the minute, because I believe I've got time to rotate money from this to that, if that makes sense. So I'm not too worried about that. Energy as well, I think, is going to be quite big as well, but not the standard stuff that everyone seems to be picking. So yeah, wait for the structure on this to reverse. We're still kind of well under the capped call limit stuff, so love that. We've really completed the downside move, and that's where we're starting to base, which was good. So RSI looks kind of neutral. MACDX Plus coming back together. I'd love to see, another golden cross on that one. Those are lagging kind of indicators, though, so I wouldn't base everything on them. Really, you're looking for the funds coming in on this one. Let's look at the weekly. Sorry if you can hear my dogs barking. Someone's probably trying to post something through the door. Okay, weekly. Makes it a lot easier to see where I trimmed all the way up on these kind of crazy moves to the upside, and then I've been adding back. So this is what I talk about when I want to ride the volatility of a stock. I don't just want to hold. If I just buy here and hold, then I haven't done anything in about 6 months. So you can make more money if you sell out and then you buy back in. Right, open options interest for SOFI. Looks pretty good actually. Expected move this week, decently large actually for this company. Normally it's very minuscule. A lot of volume sitting at 12, which is kind of where market's going to open. So that's going to be interesting. Market makers might start stepping in, but primarily their resistance is at 13, which tells me investors are starting to get a bit more bullish on this as it goes through the year. So they'll want to keep it under that. But honestly, the news coming out for SOFI and their reacceleration, I think they're going to have a hard job holding this one down in the long term, but we'll see. Let's push it out a week. Starts to investors get a little bit more bearish and bullish. This is earnings week, so this, there's a bit of uncertainty around earnings, but this makes me think, are people just ignoring the news that's coming out for SoFi lately? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. A lot of the new stuff's not been priced in. We need the earnings to price it into our models. We can guess right now, but we don't know all the details, and we can't build it into the model that I've got until we've got the details. So I'll show you that. Pushing out a week again. Not much change, just a bit more volume. Let's push it out to January 2025. So great. I can see it better on my other screen in the other office, but it's so annoying after get higher to see it. There we go. Maybe I need to tilt this screen down a little bit or something because I can't really see it. So again, this looks really bullish. A lot more interest to get into a new high by the end of the year. 50, but I think that's going to be no problem. I'm willing to pay up to $20, so I'll still be buying and all the chop around here. To be honest, though, I think I'm going to end up being quite overweight if we do bump up to that, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's push it out to 2027, which I think is as far as we can go. Again, this just looks way more bullish. There's still a lot of bearish interest, so it's not quite. Investors are a little bit undecided on this one. Market makers are happy to try and keep it in that range, so we'll have to wait and see. I do think the options market is going to expand on this one when it gets more in favor, but I like to be early. Can't say I don't. So news-wise, I took the DCF calculation that I'd put on my article that's not yet out, so this is a little bit of a spoiler treat for you. I'm going to try and put in more of my actual price predictions and my explanations about them into my videos and content. I don't want to put in the full complicated, whole spreadsheet of data. So I'm just going to try and really simplify some of my expectations. So it's really hard to do a cash flow calculation based on the fact that SoFi is only just profitable. So we have to do a little bit of an adjustment based on adjusted EBITDA, take away capex and stuff like that. So it's a super simple way of calculating it for this specific situation. I wouldn't use this method for many other companies. This is a SoFi specific one, and we add back the book value after. So yeah, base case I'm working with is kind of 21.98. Now I do like to put in my bear and bull on this one, and then rather than just do a flat out average, it's more of a weighted average. So we're weighted more in the base case. So the average of that gives me $22. So like I say, I'm willing to pay up to $20 on this one, but that's a lot of upside potential that I'm exposing myself to. This calculation as well, though, I did mention specifically, doesn't include the new loan deals that we've been seeing. We need to see how that hits the bottom line before we can build that in, and all the other changes under the hood. But we'll be able to adjust this after earnings on the 29th, I think they were. Other than that, though, what else we got? This guy's just started popping up on my feed. Gertrude Yadon. Is that a woman's name? I'm not sure. Again, I'm butchering people's names on here. But he found some code in the app that was interesting. SoFi level 1, Cash Coach, and also he found. I did put it in my notes here. Some cash flow optimizer, which seems separate from Cash Coach. So this, obviously, the last few months really, there's been a lot of worry that SoFi slowed down on their schedule of rolling out stuff, but it seems that Noto and his team have looked at X and seen a lot of found a lot of investors are worried about these things, and they've addressed those things. They've explained why and where their focus is. But also, it does look like they're re-accelerating their rollouts as well. Crypto's starting to come back faster as well. He did an interview. He's super excited about that, which was good to see. So I think this is going to be really good for the long-term investors, just to be like, oh, thank God they've listened. Um, and they're willing to push forward a bit more aggressively now on some of the stuff that we were worried about. He also posted, Anthony Noto, about the team up with Templum HQ, I think they were called, to offer accredited investors expanded access to private companies. So think SpaceX, stuff like that. These kind of assets are really hard to get access to, and there's only really a few ways you can do them. So the fact that they're doing that is very good. But again, they aim for much higher net worth individuals when you compare to companies like Robinhood, who are more, going after the average Joe who wants the kind of gamified experience of investing. Noto and his team really want to go for the big boys, and I think that's going to open up a very big market for them on that. It's not going to be massively game changing, but again, it's a perk. All these little things add up, and I think that's where Robin has been beating them. I did post an article on the craftytrader.com about Robinhood versus SoFi, and I did point out that one of the advantages Hood had was that it was accelerating faster and pushing out products a lot faster. I think SoFi is kind of going to be leveling the ground on that one in the short term, which is exciting. That's a wrap. I hope you like this. I've been trying to make the videos shorter, more concise, get the information out a little bit faster. Tell me if you like it. Tell me if you don't. But share this regardless, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you tomorrow for tomorrow's update for PayPal.